Do you want to get started with web development in 2025? Then here's the perfect mini-series for you to get you going as quickly as possible. First, you need to install Node.js, which is a free open-source cross-platform JavaScript runtime environment that lets developers create servers, web applications, and command line tools and scripts. Next, you want to create some code. Well, you need a code editor. The best thing out there is Visual Studio Code from Microsoft. Download, install it, and you're good to go. It also has AI built in it, which is Copilot. Next, you need to set it up for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript by adding a couple of extensions that will speed up your development process. Next up, learn about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML is the structure of the web, CSS is the style of the web, and JavaScript makes things work by clicking on them. Optionally, you could also dive into a bit of background development. Use Node.js, Python, and PHP. PHP is common for content management systems like WordPress. Python is simple and versatile, using it in frameworks like Flask and Django. And of course, Node.js that you already installed, which is basically JavaScript, but on the server side. Next, get familiar with version control. You don't have to dive into it too much, but knowing the basics of Git and GitHub, which is a repository, will help you manage your code and work with others remotely. Okay, so you got that covered. Now get into some responsive design. Learn to make websites look good on all devices, whether it's mobile, tablet, or desktop. Dive into a couple of CSS frameworks, Bootstrap or Tailwind CSS, which is highly recommended in 2025. Now select a JavaScript framework. Whether you select the most popular one like React.js or Vue.js, even Angular, but please do this after you're comfortable with Java. Next, practice to build a couple of projects. Start with small ones. A personal portfolio website would be a good starter, a simple landing page also, and gradually work yourself to a to-do list, a blog site, or even an e-commerce website. But a simple version, of course. And remember, this is a pro tip. Build projects that solve real-world problems. Learn a little bit of AI tools. Copilot is the best one you can use, especially if you're using Visual Studio Code, and explore a couple of design tools, like for example, Figma for prototyping. Now you can host and publish your websites by using GitHub Pages, which is free for static websites only. Other options will be Netlify and Vercel for static and dynamically hosted websites. Next, buy a domain for your portfolio and showcase your professionalism. Also become more social by joining a community like my channel right here, or other communities which are free, and start asking questions and never stop learning. So I hope this was helpful, and you're gonna find videos for each and every subject that I just discussed it right here in this mini-series playlist. Don't forget, I'm Norbert PM and I teach web development. Let's start installing Node.js.